share behind the scenes piece of what you're up to.
Yeah.
So I want to commend you for doing something that I love celebrities do a lot, which is you're using your platform for good. You're using it to spread a message of awareness. And you were talking about, trans kids, and
yes,
you had a lovely message for them. Is it important for you to use social media in that positive way?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, with being a sort of public figure, I do feel like a certain responsibility to, I feel like all of the views that I share are views that I had anyway, and I don't even, I don't know if it's sort of speaking into a vacuum. I imagine that probably a lot of people that do follow me on social media have similar views as well, but I still think it's really important to be able to use that platform to spread good messages and spread love and spread kindness and spread solidarity, in a world where that is not always the case, especially online. But yeah, I think my social media hopefully is a place where people are kind to each other. I don't usually get too much infighting within the comments, but try and shut that down as much as possible. But yeah, I think it's really, really important for me to use that platform. And yeah, yesterday, Bimini and I were talking about the Trans Solidarity Alliance, and they just went for a brunch with the Trans Solidarity Alliance that morning. And I met Nancy, who's one of the people who's quite high up in the Trans Solidarity Alliance, and they asked me to do a video to trans youth saying that trans youth are loved. And I wanted to do one anyway, so I felt really honoured to be asked. And then Bimini and Nadia and I were talking about it, and then I was suddenly like, well, why don't we all do one together? So we were just all sitting next to each other, so I was like, well, I'll start and I'll turn the camera around. So yeah, I was like, I think one positive message is amazing, but 3 positive messages is even better, especially if it's in one video. So I thought, let's do it. And it's great. Literally have just been posting it as well on my Instagram stories. So hopefully that will get a lot of traction. Please share it. And please share the solidarity for trans youth as well.
Round of applause again for using your platform for good. That's the note about common country. We're not going to make everything really all-inclusive. We're going to make sure that we share that. And I promise you, I will not just only talk about Drag Race in this interview. I could. I very well could. Well, guys, if you're here for the first time, I'm going to ask a few more questions. Then we have this lovely microphone here. So don't be shy. When I let you know when the time is right, we're going to get some questions from you guys. We want to make it an interactive chat.
Okay, lovely.
So I have to ask, we have so many different genres here. We were saying this earlier of, Harry Potter, Star Trek, Star Wars. The Doctor Who fans are some of the most loyal fans on the planet.
Oh, definitely.
Would you agree? Can you describe the fan base and how it's been for you?
I think loyal is, very high up there on the list. I would say, I've met a lot of people here today who were like, I met you, I am kind of years ago, I remember, and the wonderful thing about Doctor Who fans is that you guys, you're not just like oh hey, I met you then, and then I don't get to ever see you again. It's so nice to see so many of you, and so many people share the love of Doctor Who with their families, and then pass it on to children, so it sort of continues over generations, and then, I met a lot of kids today with who were being like, oh, I just started watching your season, and that kind of thing, and I just think Doctor Who fans are the best fans in the world. Yeah, give yourselves a round of applause, you guys are amazing.
And the cosplay, we're going to talk about the cosplay.
Oh, yes.
It is so amazing. Have you seen any Doctor Who cosplay today?
Oh, yeah, I can see some right now.
Oh!
Yeah, I've seen loads, and, I've met a lot of you in my photo opportunities as well, and you guys have pulled out all the stops, you always look incredible. It's so lovely to see.
Passion goes into the attention to detail.
Yeah.
Now, this is a question, it's not part of my usual arsenal. Somebody asked me this, I didn't know what to say earlier.
Okay.
So I'm going to put you on the spot.
All right, sure, let's go for it.
Just if you were to cosplay, whether it be now or maybe when you were younger, to hear that though, because like, you guys, like, we're sitting here watching celebrities, and it's nice to know that like you can also, you know, fangirl out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's great fun for us too, you know?
I love to hear that. It makes you human, and we appreciate that. I'm going to get my friend Xander here, who has a question.
Look at this one.
Oh, there you go. I can hear
It's
you.
on now. Nice to meet you, Pearl.
Nice to meet you.
It's got to do other than that, so
Oh.
it's a massive deal for me.
Wow, well, I hope I am living up to expectations. Don't tell me if I'm not.
And my question is, the Big Finish being such an incredible way of exploring alternative paths,
Yeah.
if you could do Big Finish with any other incarnation of the Doctor, who would Bill want to travel with?
Oh my gosh. I'd maybe Jodie. Yeah. I think that would be great. I feel like it would be interesting to explore that chemistry, not stepping on any toes. You know?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We just had Jodie and Mandan with us at Monopoly.
Oh, did you?
So they're
It's
hilarious.
so lovely, aren't they?
So fun.
It's so nice. Hello. You know, I would say one monster I would not like to come up against is the Weeping Angels. Because, no, those guys are, it's terrifying. I think it's terrifying. And also, the fact that they move when your eyes are closed, that's not nice. Do you know what I mean? That's not a very friendly thing to do. And they move so fast, and so rapidly, and even just in the course of a blink. And I'm quite blinky as a person. So, you know, yeah, I feel like that would not be great for me. Yeah. Thank you. Hello.
What was the hardest episode in your series to film?
That's a very good question. I think the hardest episode to film was episode 5, which is Oxygen. Mainly because the spacesuits that we had to wear for the majority of that episode were so heavy. Like, so heavy. I don't know what they were made out of, but they were like, it was like carrying your dad around on your back the whole time. And obviously there was a lot of running. And we were in like a power station for a lot of the time. So like, there was a power station that was on and operational. So it was so loud that like, imagine like the amount of noise that's in this room and multiply that by 10. And then you have to film whilst that is happening. So that was kind of crazy. It was hot, it was heavy, and it was very loud for the whole time. So yeah, when we got back in the studio, everyone was really, really grateful to be like back in the TARDIS, which in itself was always quite warm as well. But after this power station, everyone was like, "This is heaven." Thank you so much. That's a great question. What was my favourite episode to film? Well, I don't usually do favourites, but seeing as you asked me what was my favourite episode to film, I feel like that's kind of it's different to ask me what's your favourite episode, isn't it? Because I don't like to choose. I feel like it would be like choosing between my children, of which I have none. But I imagine I would have, you know, hopefully quite a strong bond with all of them. I think my favourite episode to film was, I would say probably episode 3, Thin Ice. Just because, I mean, I really loved wearing the period costume. I thought that was really fun. I hadn't done a period drama before that. I have done one since, which was actually a lot more uncomfortable. Wearing a corset on a horse is not something I would recommend. Definitely not. But yeah, I used to just thought the sets were really epic as well. And I really loved, like, I remember our old designer who isn't with us anymore, unfortunately. I remember when he showed me the set for Westminster Bridge. We were filming Smile at the time. It was like, they obviously built it in the next to the studio over. And he was like, come have a look. And we both just sort of went in there. And I remember it being like, it was probably like film. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Would you give a person
Ever? Who's my favourite person to work with? Out of every single person I've ever worked with. In Doctor Who specifically, I should know. Oh, again, I don't feel like I can choose. Just the least favorite person. And it was freezing, and I'm pretty sure it was November because I think Trump had just been elected, so we were all like really quite depressed, and we were just on this massive hill, and I had to like charge down this hill, and we ended up having like the most fun ever, even like because it was so cold, and we were all like, well, the world is never going to be the same again. This is some absolute horrendousness that is happening in America and obviously affects everyone. But yeah, I remember Matt just had us in stitches. He was like doing this thing where he like, we were on like this hill, right? So he was doing this thing where he just kept like pretending to fall off his chair. And I can't really explain it or do it justice, so I won't try, but it was just like the funniest thing to have the whole crew in stitches for like the whole day. So yeah, I mean, we all had such a great dynamic. So yeah, I could not pick a favourite. Politically correct answers. I love everyone. I love everyone equally. Hello.
What was your favorite thing about working with Vivian?
Gosh, a lot of favourites. I see what's going on here in Manchester. Okay, yeah, okay. I mean, I think my favourite thing about working with Peter is he's so clever, but also, I mean, he's so good at his job. Like, I mean, I remember, obviously, Doctor Who was like my first TV job ever, basically, apart from 3 hours on Doctors, which I don't think counts. And Peter just taught me so much, and I remember watching him like in real life when I was like not in the scenes, or you know, like when I was not, the camera wasn't on me, and then watching him through the camera, and like the difference, like it didn't really look like he was doing that much, but like the intensity and the emotion and the passion was so present when you looked through the camera, and I was like, it kind of blew my mind. I was like, I didn't know. And I was like, I don't know how to do that, but I was also like, I didn't know that that was a thing you could do. You know, I kind of didn't really realize that it would translate like that. And yeah, I just thought that was just amazing and so magical and really, really powerful. So yeah, and you know, he taught me so much about how to do our job, which was great, and I'm so grateful for it. Thank you. Hello. Come a bit further forward so I can hear you, just to the microphone. Yeah.
With your character there, obviously with her being a queer person of colour and me myself being a queer person of colour, how do you feel like that representation has affected other Doctor Who fans? Do you feel as though that's had a positive impact?
Great question. I mean, I hope it has had a positive impact. Because, I mean, I don't know, I think, I certainly when I was growing up, there wasn't a lot of queer, female, of colour representation. You know, there wasn't really many people that looked like me on TV anyway when I was younger. So, I mean, the fact that there's like a queer mixed race woman in like one of the biggest shows in the world is an amazing thing. And I mean, I'm very lucky to live in a country that accepts queer people and to come from a family that also accepts queer people. But I know that that is not the case for everyone, and it's certainly not the case for every country that Doctor Who is broadcast in, and a lot of countries it's not even legal to be gay. So I really hope that queer people like herself watching the show, I hope that they do see that there is a space for them and see themselves reflected and see that it is okay to be who they are, even if it doesn't feel like they are welcomed or accepted in the communities that they are currently in. I think to know that there are people out there who love them is really important, and I hope that's what it does. Thank you so much for that question.
And round of applause for doing that and for opening up the discussion and making people feel seen. Amazing. Ian.
Hello.
My question's very, very simple. I think you've already been thought of asking this question already.
Okay.
Which classic doctor or which companion would you travel with if you were to the classic era?
Oh my gosh, I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's so many that are all so cool.
You sort of
Well, yeah, right? So I feel like maybe it'd be nice to explore that a little bit. Yeah, so I'm going to say William Hartnell. But I think companion-wise, I feel like Ace and Bill will get on quite well. And I feel like they have a lot of jacket chat. You know? I feel like there'll be a lot of yo, where did you get your passions from? It's kind of vibe. So yeah, I'd like to explore that. Thank you very much.
Good question. Thank you. Well, look at this cosplay. Round of applause. You look amazing. Very down.
Hello, I'm a massive Susan.
That's a great question. Thank you. I mean, I don't know. I think for me, I'm just a bit of a weirdo in general, but also I really enjoy emotional scenes. I find them obviously a challenge is to keep sort of recreating them for however many takes it takes to complete the scene, but for me, I really enjoy being able to express extreme emotions, and because I think those moments are so relatable, even if they're not specifically relatable to the audience. Everyone knows those moments in their own life when they've got things that are sort of beyond control or emotions that feel insurmountable or stuff like that. So I really enjoy kind of exploring those and seeing where I can take it. But yeah, I mean, I would say I found the whole Cyberman thing quite difficult because they didn't let me get in the costume, which was a shame. But I really wanted to get in. I was like, oh, put me in the costume, this would be great. But they were like, you're 5'6", and that's not very scary. So they got this really lovely guy who was like 6'5" to get in it, and I was like, yeah, okay, that is more intimidating. I'll give you that, you know. But it was quite difficult because I sort of had to, I would do all the sort of the movements, the actions that I would have done if I was in the costume, and then he would recreate. But it was kind of difficult sort of relinquishing control a little bit because I was like, that's still Bill in there, and I was like, I still want to do that. And sometimes, one of the amazing things about working with Peter is that, we would really play around with some stuff, and a lot of stuff would just kind of come out naturally, and we'd be like, oh, okay, that's cool, that was different, and we would just kind of roll with it. But obviously, I wasn't able to do that because I wasn't in the costume when we were shooting. So yeah, I found that quite challenging, and I don't think that means that I'm a control freak at all. It doesn't mean that. No. Absolutely not. No, it doesn't. Thank you so much. That was a great question.
Therapy's fun.
Oh yeah, look, this is what this is.
Hi, which actor would you choose to play the next Doctor?
Wow, which actor would I choose to play the next Doctor? Me? I feel like, otherwise it's a really difficult choice. There's a lot of actors out there. Yeah, I'm gonna say me. I'll say you too. Thank you. We're gonna say Pearl. Yeah, why not? Look, if we're choosing people, come on. Hey, we've got some more amazing cosplayers.
We do. Round of applause.
Look at that.
Manchester has turned it out with the cosplay, I must say. Very impressive.
You can play a different character.
I feel like I just answered that. I think the Doctor. I mean, surely, right?
Not a weeping angel.
Definitely not a weeping. Well, maybe if I played one, they would be less scary. But I think it would. Yeah, I'd be scared. I don't know. Maybe the Master. That would be unexpected. I feel. You know, I always get cast as really nice people, which is great. But also, evil people are fun to play. So
hear that. You always
maybe the Master.
Everyone always says playing the villain is a lot more fun.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I always get cast as the nice one. Too nice. Too nice. It's annoying.
Imagine some kind of meaty role that you could play, you could just be off.
I think it'd be great though, because like, you know, playing on the whole, oh yeah, you always get cast as a nice person. People see me pop up in something, they're like, oh, she's gonna be nice. No, no, no. Haha. I think that would be great.
Today.
Not today.
Who would you like to see Pearl play? What would be your choice? You don't know. A doctor? We'll say doctor. Yeah, great question. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And another amazing dapper outfit here. Hi.
Hi, Bill.
Hello.
With only having one season to go up against monsters, what monster would you have liked to go up against in Doctor Who that you haven't previously gone up against?
Oh wow, I mean there are so many, aren't there? And there's loads of new ones now, too. So I keep being like, all of these new ones.
Finding new ways to scare us.
Yes, yes. What were the little furry ones in this new season? The little guys.
Furry ones.
They look like furries. But I think I'm aging myself. Yes. Those ones were kind of terrifying. They were giving Chucky. You know? Yeah. So maybe them. Maybe I would like to defeat them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Looking rad and plaid. How are you?
Yes, bravo. Very good.
Do you prefer TV to on the stage? And are we going to see you in anything on stage coming up?
Well, that's a very good question. Maybe I'm just indecisive. I think it's maybe not that I don't like favourites, I'm just indecisive. Honestly, I wouldn't only like to do TV or theatre.